Hi everyone, Rodrigo here once again for one more Power BI class, and today I'm gonna show you guys how to develop your first dashboard in Power BI. Furthermore, I would like to share 4 mandatory steps that allow you to succeed in your data project. So let's do it together. So here guys, you can see my Power BI screen, and first of all, we have just to input some data, right? In order to just create our dashboard. So the first step is to create our data, to input data to our project. So I'm gonna go to this part here, this object, enter data, sorry. Then you click in enter data. This is a manually way to introduce data in your project in Power BI, okay? So first of all, I will just name it the table. The name of the table will be sales. The first field, I will put it like month. So first month. Then here I will start with the data. So the first month will be Jan, Feb, again Feb, without cap, Feb, and then March, April, May, and June, right? Then I will just create a second field. You can create with me, okay, in your home, at your home. So the second field, I will name it as month number. All right, so the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and finally the other field I will name it as sales. Okay, sales, and then I will put the symbol of currency, so this one, and then I will put it in January I sold 150, in February 140, in March 100, then 120, 113, and 145. All right, so that's all for now, and then I will just load this information to see this information in my Power BI. Okay, when you apply it, you will see this window of load, and then the Power BI just load the data and show the data in this right side over here. All right, so now I have three fields in my project: the month number, and the sale. Before it starts, I will just move on to data part over here in the left side. Okay, I will click on data side, and then I will just create some rule to enable Power BI to understand how to order the information of month, okay? Because this is not non-numeric, this is a text field, so I have just to create some rule to Power BI understand how to organize this information in my dashboard, all right? So I will just click in the month, and then move on to this object, sort by column over here, then click once, and then selected how Power BI can organize this information. So please Power BI just organize month by number, month number. So I will select the month number here, and now Power BI just have this information in the back end of the software, of the platform, right? So moving back to report page, then let's start our dashboard. So guys, to start our dashboard, I would like to ask you about the information that you see firstly when you look at, for example, to a news, or if you look at to magazines, if you look at it in home page, in landing pages on web. What is the first information that you see? The answer is the title, right? So the title is the first information that's works like a guideline for you to understand the content of the page or of the news. So the title is the first thing, most important, that you have to introduce in your project, okay? Even when you are working in dashboards, the first main information that you have to plot it here is the title, okay? But you have just to create a title more specific, more straight to the point, okay? The title is the guide of your users, so you have just to create a really good title, not general ones. Sometimes people just create general titles, but the title doesn't mean anything. When people say, for example, sales in the title of the dashboard, if you look at sales, you won't understand what the meaning of this dashboard. We have just to create a comprehensive title, all right? So how to introduce title in dashboard? This is easy. You just have to move on to the tab insert over here. Then moving a little bit right to the text box object, and then click once, and then Power BI just show this box over here with a text space. So here you can just write your text, okay? So I will just introduce my title, and then I will use sales by, oh, let's change a little bit. Monthly sales. This will be my title. If someone just look into my dashboard, will understand this is a dashboard related to monthly sales, okay? This is specific, not general, right? Then you have just to customize a little bit, because if you can see, as you can see, this title is so teeny, so small, so I have just to put this title bigger. How to do that? Just click once, selected all the phrase, all the content, and then moving back to this little window over here, and then you can just change also the fonts or even the size. Then I will put like 20 the size, and then you can just put it bold, or even you can change the color clicking on this arrow over here, and then you can select any color you want to use in your dashboard. In my case, I don't want to use any colors. I will keep the black ones, okay? So I will just click out of the box, and then sometimes you see this little bar, gray bar over here. This is because the size is not enough, okay? Just to fix this problem, you can just move in the box a little bit down or up, and then you see the bar just disappear. All right, so this is my title. Now I will just put it my title all the screen, all the way of the screen, and then I will just reorganize my title in the center over here. I will align center my title, and that's all. This is the first mandatory step, okay? The title. Then we have just to introduce informations, right, to this dashboard. And we have two kinds of informations in our dashboard right now. We have the month, and also we have the sales, okay? The month number, it's a third information, but it is related to the month. That's why I told you just month and sales, okay? I'm using the month number just to organize the month name. That's why I didn't mention the month number as a good information to include in our dashboard, okay? So we have the month and we have the sales, okay? Sometimes when I have some numeric fields and I ask you like, what is the total sales? How to understand the total sales? Let's move on to data part in the left side and then check this table over here. If I ask you guys, what is the total sale of this table? You have just to summarize this all column and then understand the total sales, okay? You have just to create some calculated field, the sum of the sales, and then you will understand the total sales. When you do that in projects, in data projects, we call these numbers that summarize something as measures. So when you create measures in data project, you just summarize some fields. Could be an average, could be a sum, could be subtract, multiply, division. Doesn't matter the way that you summarize. When you summarize, you design, you develop a measure, okay? You create a measure in your data project. So please understand that if you are a data analyst or if you are interested and move on to this market, you have to understand what is the meaning of measure. Also, if I ask you, if I just told you like we sold 500, for example, what will be your next question for me? Probably your next question will be, okay, 500, but this means by month? This means the last month, last year, this year, today, or a specific store? What do you mean with 500 of sales? And then I have just to create a context just to explain you how this number works. So now you have the measure, and to make this measure understandable, you have to use some other fields. These other fields, we call them dimensions. So when you are working in a data project, you must have at least two kind of fields, at least one measure, at least one dimension. All right, so don't forget this part, okay? You have to work on with one measure at least and one dimension, okay? One to just explain the number and the other one to give the reasons of the number, okay? To make the number understandable, right? So let's move on to the report, and then we will introduce the measure and the dimension. In our case, the measure will be the summarize of sales, and the dimension is the month, okay? Or the months actually. So first of all, the second mandatory step is the introduce the dimensions in your dashboard. And usually we work with that just using this slicer chart over here, okay? Slicer 1, okay? Just moving down a little bit, in the 5th row you will see the slicer. So click once in the slicer, then you will see this blank space in your dashboard, and after that you have just to drag the dimension in your right side and drop in this blank space over here where Power BI actually asked us about add data fields here. So drag the dimension and drop over here. And then you see that slicer charts works as a filter, all right? After that, you can just change the way to present this filter. For example, I'm gonna use another structure of filter. Then I will click on this arrow in the left side, in the top left, and then click once, and then I will put it not in list but in drop now structure. So click in drop now, and then I can see the filter in this way. So the user can just click once and then select the month. Also, if the user don't click anywhere, it's the all is the default information, okay? All is the default information, but also the user can just click in one month, another month, and then if the user just press and hold the control key, they can just select it another months, okay? Or unselect as well, right? And then if you click it 1 and 2, they just erase it and move on, moving back to all selections. So this is the second mandatory step, to create filters in your dashboard in order to make your dashboard understandable, not your dashboard, but the dimension really understandable for your readers, all right? So now we have the filter, and then we have just to plot the measures, all right? How to plot the measures? This is the first mandatory step. Just moving back to visualization tab again, and then clicking this chart over here, call it card, okay? You will see the little number 1, 2, 3. Just click once in the card, and then it's the same way that we did before. Just drag, but now the measure, drag the measure in the right side and drop in this blank space over here. And then you will see that Power BI just creates some automatic sum of sales. If you want to change this way to explain the sales, for example, I don't want to use the sum, I want to use the average, you can just, this is really easy, just moving to the visualization tab again, clicking the arrow in the front of the field, the name of the field, and then click once, and then you can just change the way to summarize this field. All right, you can use sum, average, minimum, maximum, count, which means the count of rows. Count distinct is the rows without same informations, okay, data without the same information. So Power BI count one for each row, different row, okay, and the count means that the total rows of your table. Standard deviation, variance, median, so you can just change for any one of that, okay? But now I have the name of this information here, this measure, as a sum of sale, but I wanna change a little bit the label of this card, and I wanna use like a total sales instead sum of sales. How can I just create this information? Just moving back to the visualization tab and click two times and the name of the field, and then you can just rename it easily, like total sales, okay? And then I wanna just change a little bit how this number is presented in my dashboard. I wanna use the current symbol in front of this number. How can I do that? Now it's time just to change a little bit, moving on to the fields tab, and then click once above all the field, okay, above all sales, and then you will see these like hide columns, hide tab over here appear, the column tools tab, okay? This is like a dynamic tab. These kind of tabs just appear when you click in something, when you click somewhere in Power BI, all right? So I will just moving to the left, and then I can just change the name of the field, also the data type, but I want to change the format of my data type, okay? To change this one, I can just click here. When I can see row number, I can move on and put it currency, all right? And then I can see the symbol of currency appearing in my dashboard. Okay, guys? So now I have the symbol here. I don't want to use the symbol in the name of the card. So I will move on to visualization tab, click two times over here, and then just erase the symbol. That's all. Now I have the total sales. So this is the first mandatory step that you have to use in your dashboard, okay? Now we have the title, directly to the point, okay, monthly sales. Then the user can see like, okay, I will analyze the monthly sales, but with months. Then just click it in the filter and then just figure out which months I have it, okay? And then I can see here all months, which means that from January to June, I sold 785. Easily to understand, easily to analyze, easily to make decisions. That's the purpose of data project. But now we can just increase a little bit, just moving deeply in order just to be more clear with the informations to our users. How can we do that? We can just add the fourth mandatory step, which means that include some charts that combine measure and dimension at the same times. So because here we have only the dimensions and here only the measures. So now it's time to combine both. How can we just work on that? Just move on to visualization tab again and then click here what kind of chart you wanna use in your project. In my case, I will use the bar chart. I will use this one, the vertical clustered column charts. Then I will click once. This chart appeared over here, and then I can just drag and drop the information. First of all, the month. The month I want to use in the x-axis, all right? So I will put the month here. And then in the y-axis, I will just introduce our measure, which means the sales, and then I will put in the y-axis. And now I have my sales distributed by months, okay? And now, guys, we have the fourth mandatory steps to create an understandable dashboard, and this is the way to start our dashboards. From now, you must design the colors of your dashboards, the positions of the elements in your screen, but this is the basic, okay? This is the basic structure to create a comprehensive dashboard for your users, for your readers. All right, so from now, that's all, but don't forget it. Even if you are an expert, you have to follow these four mandatory steps, okay? I will add something more for you as beginners, how to design the elements in your dashboard. It's really easy, okay, guys? Just click in the element and then move on to visualization tab, and then click in this second symbol over here, format your visual, and then you can just change everything in your element, okay? For example, I can just change like the callout value for blue, I don't know, and then I can see. So this blue is related to the blue in this bar, okay? So it's easier for the user to understand. Oh, this total sale I can see in these bars. Also, I can move on to the bar chart, and then I can just put it like data labels, for example, and then be more comprehensive to my users to understand how these sales were divided by month, okay? Monthly, and then I can just understand better. So look at now, monthly sales, and then I have 1, 2, 3, I have from January to June, easy to understand. The total in this semester was 785, and also I can understand that in January I sold more than the other months, and also I lost some sales in the March, and then I recover my way to growth in April, and now in June I almost achieved the same as January, okay? So that's the way to design dashboard, okay? That's the way to just increase the decisions making. That's the purpose of data project. I hope you like it. If you like it, don't forget to subscribe in our YouTube channel. If you know someone that will be interested to understand this concept, please share it. And also, guys, just let me know if you have some doubts or concerns. Just let me know in the comments. It will be a pleasure to answer you as soon as possible. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next video. Bye.